All right.
Do we bring computers? I do have a laptop. Does everybody bring a laptop each
Totally
time?
up to you.
Totally up to you. I just brought it because I wasn't sure if we'd have the agenda, but now I'm going to shut it because I don't need it.
And I take the minutes, so that's why.
Well, so I'm happy to call to order the Voter Information Committee meeting. It's our first one of fiscal year 25, and we have 5 members. Our committee charter allows us to have up to 8, so we welcome more people, but we're super excited. One of our members, Amy Jalbert, is running behind, and because we had more than 3 people as our quorum, we could start the meeting without her, and she'll join us when she gets here. So the first thing I wanted to do is just welcome Pauline and welcome back Emily. I feel like we should maybe wait till Amy gets here for people to introduce themselves. So it's okay to skip on to, well, first, I think before you even go to public comment, I just want to recognize that we have the town clerk with us today, Emily Mitchell. So we always enjoy our collaboration with the town clerk's office, and the trustee election presentation last night was fantastic. There was a great handout, and the clerk's office is hoping to do it again in probably October, do you think? So we will definitely be happy to promote that and work with you if we can support the event in any way.
Thank you very much.
We also have Jamie Goodwin. I want to say Jamie Thornton because I always get the 2 Jamies confused, but Jamie Goodwin with us from the Harwich Channel, and as always, she's super helpful with our recordings. And one thing to discuss maybe before we get into, we do have this as our designated time, 4:30 to 5:30, the 3rd Wednesday of each month. And if we wanted to, we could move to the 2nd Wednesday of each month, but otherwise I think the room's kind of booked.
So what we're trying to do is get all the boards and committees to voluntarily meet in hearing rooms that have recording features. So Waterways is my newest acquisition to this room, so they'll meet today at 6 p.m. in this room.
Okay.
So if you ever wanted to have a lengthier meeting than an hour, then we would, have some issues. I'm also working on recruiting the traffic safety committee in here, but on their website it says they meet quote unquote as needed. I'm not sure if that's appropriate. And I'm trying to get the cultural council who meets Thursdays, so that won't hinder you. And I'm also waiting for youth services to start their meetings up again, but I know that the chairperson, you're not the chairperson, is it Craig? Yeah. Jeff Craig, yep. So I'm trying to accommodate everyone and their schedules. It's just that you guys happen to meet on the third Wednesday, just like Waterway. So if you wanted to switch to the 2nd or the 1st or whatever you feel comfortable with. I don't want to have to keep shoo-shooing you out of the room.
Yeah,
I want you to feel like you have enough time to accomplish things.
Ever come close?
No, I was just gonna say I don't want Pauline to go running out before we get started. I think our meetings are generally between 20 and 45 minutes, so and we get a lot done in that short period of time. But
so even having a full hour, 4:30 to 5:30, and giving 30 minutes for the transition,
I think feels
I
completely
think it's okay.
comfortable.
Yeah, and this time works for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then we'll just stick, and I know it works for Amy, so we'll just keep that. But thank you for your flexibility. So, should we look at just booking out our meetings for the whole FY25, just so we have it on the agenda or we have it in the meeting minutes, and then of course, if you can make it, great. If you have a vacation or a conflict or whatever, that's fine too. But I'm just looking at the calendar. It would be helpful, Joy, if I read out the dates for you.
Yes.
Okay, so the 3rd, are we the 3rd or the 4th? 3rd, right? Okay, yeah. So the 3rd, it would be September 18th, October 16th, November 20th, December 18th, January 15th, February 19th, but that's school vacation, so we could do, doesn't matter. I mean, I don't think any of us have school-age children, well, or that Well, you're on vacation maybe because of school.
Yes, it's also it happens to be my birthday.
Well, then we can't do it on your birthday, Emily.
so-
So we
Although
could do
we
it.
do have a quorum.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
true. Yeah, so let's
you
just
can
keep
meet
it on the
without me.
19th.
Yep,
Yeah,
you can meet without me
absolutely.
if I
Good
have
point.
big plans.
March 19th, April 16th, May 21st, and June 18th. And this will all be in the meeting minutes so we can record it. But so that's good. So we have those scheduled for the year, so that's great. Thank you for preparing the meeting minutes.
I forgot. I know I was forgetting one more thing.
We'll just, maybe, with everyone's approval, we'll push the, approval of the June 12th meeting minutes to next month. I know that Emily and Pauline would be abstaining because you weren't attending those, so that's fine. So we do have, Emily, I jumped the gun a little bit, I gave a preview, but we do have, the town clerk with us. Emily, your item number 5, town clerk offers trust the process. So I don't know if you want to say anything or.
Sure, I'm happy to.
Yeah.
Jamie, do you know, does that microphone pick me up?
It sure
from back
does.
here? Oh, so convenient.
You're welcome
You
to
can
pull up
also
the
say
table.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Nice cozy chair.
Thank you for letting me join you right at the table.
I feel like we're also now in high def, maybe than we
I know.
used to be. Or,
So last night we did hold an event called Trust the Process. It was designed to cover all topics related to election administration and election processes. I'm sure it's no shock to anyone at this table that this is a topic that's very much sort of in the public consciousness at this time. Unfortunately, a lot of folks don't have trust in election processes, and I think within the last 3 or 4 years, there's been some misinformation and disinformation put out about how elections are run and how election results and outcomes come to be. So our office planned this event in an effort to just get as much factual information out to voters in the lead up to our fall elections as we can. So it was our first time doing it. So it was open to the public. It was an information session sort of / Q&A. I think it ended up being pretty heavy on the questions, which was really great to see. We had maybe 20, 25 people who attended. The Harwich Channel did record, and I know that it will be available for folks to see that recording after the fact. So it was really, I think, exciting for me as the town clerk and the chief election official for the town to see that engagement and to see everyone so participatory. So that was wonderful. My hope is to do another one in advance of the presidential election, probably early October. And then I really have a long-term plan to hopefully do one before every election so that voters have the chance to come and ask their questions. We brought some of our election equipment over. We didn't end up having enough time for folks to really come try it out, but that was the intention of bringing it over. So we'll probably allow more time in the future if anyone wants kind of that hands-on experience to come up close and personal and ask questions and try things out. So it was really great to do. I'm very grateful to everyone who helped us pull it off. And it was great to see folks there.
Yeah, I was really struck by the fact that to bring the ballot counting machine here, you needed to have a police escort to both
Yes.
bring it here and then return it to where it's stored. And also just, it seems like the vault in your office must be quite spacious because you're storing a lot of things in the vault.
Well, that's really interesting that you say that. So any cast ballots from a state or federal election have to be retained for 22 months. And for something like a primary, they have to be stored separately by party and by precinct. So if one person casts a Libertarian ballot in precinct 1, it gets its own box, and that box has to be stored. So we might be looking to expand our vault one of these days, but we do, have a lot of storage space dedicated to ballots.
Another thing that I know our committee enjoys working with you on is just like giving, we've done in the past, we've had one-pagers on how to register to vote and the timing, and we'd be happy to, continue with that. I know that the deadline to vote for the state primary is August 24th, I guess. but probably, so we probably can't do anything to promote that, but what would the deadline be for the presidential election, if you know off the top of your head? I
Oh
know-
gosh,
I'm sure
okay.
it's on the website.
Hold on,
also.
let me do some quick calculations. It's gonna be October 26th.
Okay.
Yes. So it's always 10 days before election day itself,
Wow.
10 calendar days. So it'll be Saturday, October 26th will be the voter registration deadline for the presidential.
Okay, well, maybe
Yes.
we can, I know that's on we have had it on our website in the past. I'm not sure how up to date our website is. And in fact, I don't know if we have access to our website with the changeover to our, but that's something that I think we as a committee could look into and certainly update it. What other things could we do to support your office?
That's a great question. I mean, I appreciate even the opportunity to come here and talk with you and to reach the folks who are watching your meeting. I know you mentioned, Tricia, we chatted for a few minutes before the meeting started,
Yep.
potentially helping us advertise and plan for a future event like we held last night.
Absolutely, yeah.
Maybe trying to plan for something regional. I imagine some of my fellow town clerks would be interested in, collaborating on an event like that. So anything that you might be able to help us do event planning or event advertising wise.
I think our friends at the League, I would imagine our friends at the League of Women
Yeah.
Voters would be interested in something like this.
That would be great.
Yes, we could,
Yeah.
I'm happy to reach out to like Rosemary Shields
Okay.
at the League and see if that's something she wants to explore. Or even
Great.
if she doesn't want to partner on the event, just to share the opportunity to the members to attend.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
have a wide network, mailing list, that sort of thing. I had one question. Have you considered doing something similar for sort of the town meeting process?
I would certainly be happy to. I think so I felt as the town clerk that I had a lot of autonomy over this event that we held last night. I could decide that I wanted to hold it and I really only needed myself to be available to speak. For something like a town meeting, we would need to coordinate with, say, the town moderator, select board, finance committee, because everyone sort of has their individual
Right.
piece in that process. But knowing those folks, I'm sure they would be interested in having representatives contribute. So I would be enthusiastically
Yeah.
on
I
board to
feel
do
like
that
there's
for.
a sort of knowledge gap there. People don't know what to do if
Right.
they come to town meeting, how it all sort of works, particularly if they haven't spent time in this
Yeah.
part of the country. 'Cause it's all very different.
Definitely.
So I can
How
see some
articles
value.
make their way onto the warrant,
Right.
that sort of
Who
thing.
speaks when,
Yeah.
all of
Yeah.
those sort of little details.
Yes, I would love to do that.
Also the ongoing confusion about CPC, CPA.
Yeah,
I know that was.
revolving funds, all those different
Yeah.
things.
Those were topics we were interested in trying to work on before our membership shrunk. So now that we're getting bigger, we can hopefully tackle those things. But I think, our charge is to share information about local elections, but we can certainly share, town meeting is a offshoot of the local elections, I think, and even the presidential and state primaries, it's still Howard's voting. We're not gonna get involved in promoting the issues of those races, but the simple fact of how do you participate in those elections is within our purview.
I'm very excited about it. So, and it was well received last night, it seems. So,
Do you you had great handout last night, and are these is the handout going to be available on your website, or would you like us to upload it? Do you have maybe if you had a PDF you could share with us,
Yeah.
we could have it live on our website as well?
absolutely. I think portions of that are on the town clerk department page of the town website. A few I had only finished creating a couple hours before the event, so they haven't made their way onto it yet. But I can certainly share with you as the voter information committee, and I should get those on our website also.
Okay, great.
For anyone who is listening, we do have a lot of information on our website. So we always have the election dates, the voter registration deadlines, vote by mail, in-person early voting, election day, sample ballot. So if anyone has election questions or needs, often a great place to go. And of course, to contact our office. We're always happy to talk directly to voters.
I might be, you might see me smirking, and it's just because I just had a memory that I mailed in my mail ballot for the September primary, And then last night when you were talking about you had to sign in a couple of places, I'm not entirely sure that I did it correctly, but I am sure that if I didn't do it correctly, you folks will be.
Yes, yeah, you'll be hearing from us. We are very diligent with our follow-up, so you might get a call or a notice, but I'm confident you signed it.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions or no? Great, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
in. And we, definitely, we appreciate you stopping by today, and you're always welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and thank you for all that you do. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, so our next, we're moving on to old business. Hi, Amy.
I'll give up my seat.
Come on, no, here we go. Seat for
Okay.
her.
Hello.
Amy Jalbert. This is Pauline.
Emily,
nice to meet you.
I don't know if you know Emily Mitchell.
Yes.
And Jamie Goodwin from the Harwich Channel. And I know you know Emily from a different life, but so we
Sorry, I'm late.
take a breath. We skipped over the welcome new members, and we just were talking to the town clerk about some programming she did.
Okay.
But we were just getting on to old business, number 6. So we'll maybe do that while you take a breath, and then we'll move into introductions. But first, subpart A, connecting with the select board regarding the voter information committee liaison. I was able to connect with Natasha, and she confirmed that Mike McCaskill is our liaison now. So I would suggest we reach out to him about joining us for a future meeting. I'm happy to see. We also scheduled all the meetings for the year, and I'll give you those dates after. But I'm happy to reach out to him and share those, a couple of upcoming dates and see what works for his calendar. And then let's see. What do people think? Should we move on to future programming, or should we take this opportunity to do introductions? What do people?
Introductions are
Yeah, I
fine.
think so.
If Amy's ready.
Well, I was welcoming Pauline and Emily, but I'll welcome them again, and I'll also thank you for. Your term hasn't renewed, but thank you for your participation, and Joy's as well. Joy is our original member, or our longest-standing member at this point.
I don't know, cumulatively it makes
Well, yeah, consecutively, but maybe we can just go around the room. So my name's Tricia Murray. I joined the committee as a interim appointment, I think, in February of 2022. And then in October of 23. Or are those years, they're all blending, maybe 21? 22, yeah.
October of 22.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was pretty shortly. There was a change in the committee, and I became the chair, and we were in hiatus for a long time, but I've been in, I think we resumed when you rejoined us, Amy, so that was sometime in FY24, yeah. And I'm also on the board of trustees for the Brooks Free Library, and my day job is working for the Community Development Partnership in their Small Business and Credit Committee section, helping small businesses on the Lower Cape start, grow, and thrive. So that's me. I'll go counterclockwise to Joy.
So my name's Joy Jordan. I know you, met you for the first time today, Pauline. I guess 21.
I think, yeah.
Is that when I joined?
I think it was earlier than
You
that.
think it was?
I do, but
Yeah.
I
Anyways.
don't trust my memory. It's
Right. Yeah.
It's been a long time.
I know you had the opportunity to leave in 23, but you stuck with me. So
Maybe it was 20.
yeah, maybe 20.
I think so.
But lots of fits and starts. It's nice to have a big group here again. Finally, it was tough when it was just the 3 of us because there was no room for error. If any of us couldn't make it, we couldn't meet. And I'm also on the Youth Services Committee, technically, which has been on hiatus for a while. I work for Monomoy Regional School District. I'm the Community Engagement Coordinator. I have 2 graduates of the district and 2 current high school students.
All right. I'm Emily Mylan. I tried to look back in my records and determine when I first started on voter information committee. And I became clerk in like 2018 or fiscal year 2018, so it would have been 2017. But I think I'd been on the committee for a couple of years at that point. Then took a break in 22 when I started a new job as the librarian at Monomoy Middle School. And finally kind of got my feet underneath me there and was ready to come back. So thanks for having me.
We're so excited to have you back.
Happy to be here.
So our visitors, I don't think have to introduce themselves.
I
but,
would like to add,
please.
actually. So when I met you before the meeting and I said the voter information committee is my favorite committee, that started in 2010 when I first started here, and that was a different cast of characters: Peggy Rose, Pam Groswald, Joanne Riss, Christina Choice, and they forced their way into my studio and into my heart, and they were very helpful and they were very active. So it's really cool to see a different cast of characters being very helpful and being very active. So I really appreciate that. And it wasn't a lie when I said the voter information committee. It just has carried on. Because
You know you're being recorded.
I know. I was excited. I'm like,
Said that out loud.
no, but listen, if you want somebody to respond to your email, you email her. And they're like right there. I'm like, thank you. Somebody's answered an email, and it just makes you so happy.
But just another shout out to Chris and Pam and Peggy and Joanne. Like
Absolutely.
I was tutored and they were my
Yes.
mentors when I
Yes.
started out, and
Incredible.
so much institutional knowledge that I gained from them. So
Yeah. And whenever you see Joanne Riss when she comes back to visit, it's like, oh my God! So it's really nice. And they twisted your arm to get you in there. So it's really cool to see you carrying on. And Bikeways is my second favorite. And when you meet with them, you'll find out why.
It's okay, I'm on both of them, so I'm good with that.
Yeah. So
you chose wisely.
Thank you.
you did.
Pauline Tees, new to Harwich as in January. Moved down here from more central Mass. My fiance lives down here, and so I moved down to move forward. And so I worked for a big corporation, Toll Brothers, for 18 years, and as selling real estate. And now I moved down here and I work for Christie's, selling real estate. And when my kids were little, I never got involved with town stuff. You know what I mean? I had 3 kids. We were running around. We were doing soccer. We were doing this. We were doing that. But now, as I've gotten older and I've got more time, I feel like this is a really good time to learn more and to participate and to help and to sort of be a part of a community, as opposed to, on the outside, just kind of functioning within, the town. I wanted to be a part of it. And so I'm kind of really excited about, being a part of a group of, and I met Trish, we had coffee, and she was wonderful. So I'm looking forward to being mentored by all of you as well.
This is a good committee, I think, because it touches on a lot of different departments, and so you get to be exposed and meet to a lot of different areas of the town and meet a lot of people. So thanks for joining us. We're excited to have you.
Thank you.
So my name is Amy Jalbert. I am an accountant. I work in Osterville, so my apologies for racing here.
You're always on time. It was a one-time thing.
What else? Oh, I started this past fall. So like you, my kids, and I know Emily from way back. Her daughter and my daughter went to school together. So as my 3 kids were growing, I didn't have time to do anything else. So now here I am, kidless, work a lot. And what else do I do? So I, like you, would like to be part of something bigger and learn something new. And so that's what brings me here. So, and I just, like I said, I just joined this last fall. So I'm all new to this as well. I've never done any other committees.
So that's good. Thank you. Yeah.
Um,
Good to know.
And I really appreciate you guys joining our committee. And we do have, certainly, Emily was just saying how long, she's been involved, in Joy also. But I think we try to be really good about not saying things like, well, that's how we do it. That's how we've always done it. Like, we really welcome your input and ideas, because we just do. There's no qualifier. We just do. So please speak up and share.
Okay. Well, thank you.
It's kind of like a fresh start anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess maybe the first thing we could talk about is, I'm again skipping around the agenda. Hopefully I'm not going to get called out for this. But I have on here the reorganization of committees and roles. So I don't know if we want to talk about positions. I think that now that we have more than 3 people, maybe we should look at having both a chair and a vice chair. So if someone can't make a meeting, or I was at a meeting today and the chair's Zoom froze, so the vice chair took over, so it might be prudent. So I guess I'll say I could start from the top down. Does anyone wish to be the chair? I mean, I'm happy to continue, but I'm also, I want to put it out there.
I'm happy to do whatever, but I feel like Emily, who's had
Yeah.
the most experience.
That's a hard no.
I also had coffee with Emily, and I did assure her that as much as I would just like to say, here you go, I'm happy to have her back in any role, and I'm not thrusting any leadership roles on you. But
Thank you.
like I said, I'm happy to continue as the chair for FY25. I just don't want to presume.
I would support that.
I would support that as well. I'll be completely honest and say I'm currently a clerk for a nonprofit board, and so I really don't feel that I necessarily have the time to take that on.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, then would anyone be willing to serve as vice chair in the event of I'm unable to attend a meeting or something happens?
I'm fine with it if
Okay.
you want, or unless you want
Oh,
to.
no, thank you. I need to learn a thing or two.
I don't know any more than you do. Just jumping in
Yeah,
feet
you're
first.
just really following the agenda, or not following the agenda as I'm demonstrating today. But, yeah, okay, that's great. Thank you.
Okay.
Joy, I don't know how you feel about continuing as the secretary.
I am
Or clerk,
happy
rather.
to continue as clerk if no one wants it.
Thank you.
Now, would it be helpful, Joy, if clerk was broken up into like meeting minutes and agendas versus website maintenance? Website,
No, I don't
okay.
think so. It's mostly just me remembering all
Okay.
the different things, like bringing printouts of the minutes with the other printouts.
Well,
the
I
other
wanted,
things I forgot.
yeah, well, that's fine, but I mean, if you find, if we're doing a lot of website work and it's too much, definitely, I'm sure Pauline or Emily would be able to pitch in that respect.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now, I want to say, it occurred to me today, our new members probably need, and you might still need, access to our voter information committee drive.
Yes.
So we have a Google Drive where all our records live, going back to the early teens, I think. I was looking at it today. So I guess I'll work with Joy to get you the login, or I think we can just share it.
add them.
Yeah. And then, Joy, you have the login for the website, and I think I
do
have.
not.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
Because of the
Change.
transition so I need to.
How do we get that to me?
I will work on that.
Okay.
I will get.
Maybe
in touch
we
with
should
the
have
IT
like
director.
two people, like, so maybe you and I both would have it just in case.
Right, there's backup.
Yeah.
So I'll figure out exactly how it's, because my understanding is it's quite different
Okay.
from the previous system. So I will find out what sort of the parameters are and what we need to do and have that all ready for the next meeting.
Okay, great. So the Voter Information Committee Google Drive, which I'll share the login, or I'll give you folks access. But, in the past, like we have this graphic, how to join a board and committee or how to register to vote. Those like drafts will live in the folders on the Google Drive. And we don't deliberate on whether we don't approve them, but we say, hey, they're available to look at if you want to review them prior to our next meeting. So that'll allow, things like that. So that'll allow you opportunity to access them.
And it has good history if there's, prior information to go back and look at.
And I know historically, I think we were posting our meeting minutes and agendas on the website, but that probably has fallen off.
We submit them.
Oh, we submit them? Okay,
Yeah,
and then
it's
do
like
you post them,
official
Jamie?
process.
We sure do.
No, because
Yeah.
I think when I was the clerk, I maybe was duplicating, and you might have told me oh, I can do that. You don't have to.
Listen, duplicating is better than not having them at all, so that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, agendas and minutes, there's a specific email address we submit to, and they
Okay.
work their magic on that end.
That is our department, yeah.
And we do, and I guess the other thing I would just say for our new members especially, We have to submit the agendas by noon on Thursday of the week before. So if you have any ideas, we usually circulate, I think, an agenda, but if you have an idea for programming, please let us know so we can include, or let Joy know so we can include it in our meeting agenda. See those fingers, they look like they caught up. So, all right, so I think that takes care of reorganization of committee roles. So I'll go back to, yeah, please.
For 1 second, do we need to submit anything official?
Yes, so
Okay.
we do ask that any time that you reorganize, that you do submit who your chair, vice chair, and clerk are to the town clerk's office.
Okay.
And that helps us when we distribute information and updates and just track, compliance with open meeting law trainings and conflict of interest trainings and those types of things. So if
Okay.
you don't mind,
Yeah, no.
Is
And
it just
emails.
like just an email?
Yep.
Okay.
email with the 3 names and 3 titles, and we'll update our records.
Do we have to, maybe should we copy Mike McCaskill on that as our liaison?
And I would also CC Natasha as she keeps the committee rosters updated. Well, she sends them to Caleb and then Caleb updates them.
Okay, great. Thank you for that reminder. But going back, I think, to old business, discussion regarding future programming and voter outreach efforts, assign tasks as needed and create timelines. So I think just in terms of the voter timelines, we have the state primary next week or 10 days. So let's just focus. Presidential would be our next event. So we talked a little bit about the safe election. What else could we do that would be helpful for you? I know we have this how to register to vote infographic.
And I have not confirmed that the information is all still accurate.
Okay.
This is from the last time we did it, which was
2 years ago.
2020 maybe?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so.
So, it's just to kind of get the conversation
Yeah.
started. And a lot of it probably duplicates the information that you know, because you've done a really good job of getting all of that information up on your website. So it may not even be necessary. You may just be able to utilize
Yeah, I was gonna say,
information
should
directly
we,
from the clerk.
Certainly.
that might be good, just so there's no confusion.
Sure.
You're the official voice, or official site, I guess, probably. I think we did sometimes post these around town. Do you do any post flyering, Emily?
I will say we've put a lot of effort into our digital expansion, but certainly probably not enough effort into those physical distributions. So if that's something that you were willing or able to help with,
Sure.
that would be wonderful.
So what do people think? Should we get the information up? Do you have a graphic that we could create flyers of?
Yeah,
or-
certainly. So I do have, I tend to update the information on an election by election basis. So we'd have, how to register to vote accompanied by the voter registration deadline for a particular election. So I could certainly share that out with the full group, or if you want me to channel that to one person, I can do that. Okay.
That'll be easier.
Perfect. I can do that. Another event that we did yesterday was actually with Brooks Free Library. We did an accessible voting event, and that's something I'm also hoping to do again prior to the November election, either in partnership with the library or potentially in a different venue, depending on what library resources and availability are. But we showed voters the AutoMark, which is the assistive ballot marking device, and also showed different the electronic equivalent of voting by mail for voters who might need accessibility accommodations. So I think it'd be great to do that again.
Yeah.
I'd love to tag the Harwich channel in to record that and get it out to a broader audience. And that wasn't something that we publicized as heavily. It was more of a kind of contained group of people who come on a monthly basis to this program. So if we had a wider audience, again, would be great to help distribute information.
Yeah.
If
We-
you're
We could definitely put that on our website once we get access
Yes.
to our website. And I mean, I think we have like done flyering, like Amy, I think you did flyering.
Yeah.
So, I guess maybe we can talk about what, when we have our September meeting, you will be through the state primary.
Yes.
And you'll maybe be in a position to let us know, both about programs and, you'll have the up-to-date,
Yes.
flyer for the, how to register to vote.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that makes the most sense. And I
Absolutely.
do think there is some value in, grocery store bulletin boards,
Definitely.
that sort of thing, because there is a certain cohort that just
Yes.
isn't necessarily going to access the digital information as
Yeah.
easily. So
Absolutely.
I think that's a good way to kind of get it out to another audience.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay, so what are, so that would, I mean, that would be our most pressing, or the first thing that'll come up. And then I guess we would move on to town meeting season and local election season.
Yeah.
And that is May-ish.
Yes, May 20th is the election. And I'm, again, May 3rd, I want to say, would be. First, okay.
First Monday.
First
is that
Monday
what
in
it
May,
is? Yeah,
yes.
First Monday in May is, I went too far, May 5th.
May 5th,
Yeah.
okay. So usually, again, our office is involved in the town meeting process, but not exclusively kind of distributing or deciding things. But we are the ones who will be releasing the information about the town election. So we usually release what offices have vacancies, what the term lengths are, when nomination papers are available and when they need to be returned by. We typically do that by the third week in January. So that's always our target. It's exactly 5 months from Election Day is always our goal. So we'll have that timeline and framework in place as early as, mid-late January. And I think would be great to come back to you with those updates.
Yeah, definitely. And have we promoted the how to run for office ever, or open seats, or?
It was a program that it hasn't been done in a long time, I would say. That original cohort, I think Pam Groswald specifically did a program on how to run for office. And I don't remember who helped with that program at the time, but it's been a very long time since we've done something like that. And the process may have changed a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know just from running this past spring, the rules about your, do you have a committee and filling out the paperwork, or even just how do you get your signatures? I don't want to, I'm excited we have a full cohort, but I also don't want to over program us. So that might be something to consider maybe for FY26, like how to run for office.
And I think there's time we can kind of see
Right.
how things shake out. One thing, and I'm going to speak mostly to you, Pauline, because everybody else knows, but one thing that this committee does generally on an annual basis is help coordinate candidate forums for any contested seats in town, only for local elections. So usually that is generally just select board, school committee,
Library board.
Oh, right, library. I remember that library board.
Is that it? Finance?
Water,
or-
wastewater.
Okay, right.
And they had a
Yep.
contested write-in race for the
Yeah.
last election.
Yep.
Yes.
Um,
So sometimes there's a lot, sometimes there's just a couple. And we collaborate with the League of Women Voters, who do this in towns all around the region. So it helps, A, because they have the expertise, B, they are neutral parties. League of Women Voters members that live in our town don't participate in the candidates forum in our town. So it's members from Brewster or Dennis or, other towns.
Gotcha.
And the members that live in
No
Harwich help
conflict.
out in other towns. So it's a nice kind of clean lines, and they moderate, they do the timekeeping, that sort of thing. Our members just sort of help get the event organized and help
Publicize.
publicize.
And invite the
and-
candidates,
Mhm.
or, well, I know last year
Yes.
the league did, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Last year was a little
last year was a little
complicated
complicated.
because the two contested races were a school committee seat and
Library
the
seat.
library board seat. And because I worked for the school district, I couldn't help with that part of it. And Trisha was actually
On the
running for one of the
library.
library seats. So
So
we had to
Amy, our
kinda-
new member,
Yeah.
Child Life Fire did a great
Oh,
job.
I was gonna say,
There
that
you
was
go.
unfair.
There wasn't much to do, really. I had to bring water.
I will say
But
the league is really organized, and
really
they have
good,
a
yes.
format that they follow. Every candidates forum across the Cape is run in the same manner year after year after year.
Yeah, they're pros and they're really
Yeah.
good at it. And it's usually a very well attended event. And it also gets recorded for later viewing. And depending on the year, we have also sometimes offered the opportunity for folks running for unopposed seats to just come in and record a brief, 3 to 5 minute intro of themselves and why they're running for that particular seat. Again, it kind of depends on, I think, how much time we have and all of that.
Okay.
But that's sort of, I would say, our kind of biggest
Yeah.
annual event, and that usually happens late April.
Late April, yeah, beginning of May. And I know the first year I was on the committee, we also had kind of a understand the town meeting warrant. Not that, like, there were some discrete issues, I forget, I think it was an issue with the school committee budget maybe, or contract, and then,
The regional agreement.
yeah, exactly. And I think there was some other discrete topics that we had. Christina Joyce interviewed some people on different topics. So depending on what comes up.
Yeah, we've also in the past, correct me if I'm wrong, but we've also in the past done like a warrant article review. That was another,
Rose.
yeah, that was Peg Rose, and then
Yeah.
I tried to fill her shoes and wasn't quite as good as she is at that, but it was at that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that warrant article review where we went through all of the different warrant articles, special articles and funding requests for different things, and just kind of explaining those.
Yeah, and Jamie's great about giving the opportunity for studio space if we wanted to record a program or bring in, somebody from the town to explain
Yeah.
high level some of these issues. Jamie's great about finding a time to book us in to do that. So again, kind of a lot of it depends on what the big issues for that year are going to be, or if there's a lot of contested races or that sort of thing. But those are some of the options that all kind of happen in the first half of the year.
Okay. It's a busy time.
Yeah.
March, April, and May, busy time.
And
we
that
don't
door-
really know ahead of time
Yeah.
until
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
So
That door is always open, like if you wanted to jump back into that kind of programming again. I'm not tasking you with anything, but if you wanted to publicize it, get it going and do it again and do it differently, obviously we don't do it
Yeah.
because that's how we've always done it.
Yeah.
If you want to reinvent it and do something different, modernize it, that's great. If you want to advertise it, you can either come in here, somebody from your group, or collaborate with Emily and sit down with my interviewer, Dinah, who's actually keeps an eye on a lot of the stuff that goes around in town politics, so she knows what questions to ask,
Great.
to promote, and we post that as little commercials in between public meetings, give somebody something of interest to watch in between some other stuff. So I'm available to do whatever your capacity would like to do, and if you want to send me any of these outreach flyers on your voter outreach topics, and poor Joy and Emily keep hearing me talk about, please do not orient them like this. Please orient them like this so they come up on
Yeah, that makes
television.
sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
And if that's
I feel better.
yeah, I know.
I have not.
Yeah, I had to redesign a poster recently. It's just I would like to, as soon as you have a flyer up,
Yeah.
I'll put it on the scrolling bulletin in between the programs, and it will play until you tell me to take it down. So even if you wanted to do a quick little infographic about how to register to vote, send it to me. And to jump back to the website, when you reach out to the IT director, I would look at your page and send her the edits for her to get you up and running, and then ask for your login. That way you have like a fresh start, and you don't have to go in there and try to figure out everything
All
for
at the same
yourself.
time.
Yeah, so.
And in case you didn't know, we do have a website.
I figured that much
Okay.
out.
But I mean, if you hadn't seen it before, but
It's a page on the town website.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay, that's
like the other.
and
sort
we'll
of
get like an
groups.
invite for the Google Docs.
yeah, I'll
Yeah,
invite
I'll-
you. yeah,
okay,
or one
sounds
of
good.
us,
We'll
yeah.
figure that out.
Yep.
It might make more sense at this point to switch to a drive from just a folder. but
Mhm.
we can figure that out on the back end. And I do just want to note that to stay in Jamie's good graces, we have 10 minutes.
Okay, great. Well then, we've never gone this long.
I know.
We've had some
I know.
great
More
conversations.
people
so
promises
thank you.
never
So, I mean, I think we kind of talked about C as one-page voter outreach documents, but I don't think we talked a little bit about the voter information, I mean, the how to vote, but I think the others maybe will wait until certainly a meeting or two to talk about
Yeah.
it, so,
We don't want to bombard, we're kind of
right.
just getting back into it, so we'll let everybody
And
absorb all this information.
I see that I picked out the meeting times and locations. That was number 8. So really, I did a horrible job following it, but I think I hit all our topics. So
Does that violate open meeting
It
law?
does not. You may take your items in any order.
exactly. I'm not
Yes.
introducing any new items. So, is there any other comments or questions or new business? All right, then, I guess I didn't take a motion to call to start our meeting, but do we need a motion to end our meeting? Probably, so.
So moved.
Second.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Long day. Any opposed? Okay, great. Well, thank you.